Hotep Ma'at, Hotep Ma'at.
Tip my heart, brother.
Peace and love. Can y'all brothers hear me?
Yes, we can.
Peace and love. Peace and love to everybody in the chat. Welcome to the teachings of Ma'at, Stepping Out of the Matrix book study by author Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. Before I introduce everybody on the panel, we like to begin everything with our affirmation. Our good brother Scribe could post that up for us. On the count of three. One, two, three. Unki Ma'at, Un NS, Nintet Oset Ma'at, Min Hepapet Ma'at, Her In Kui, Per E Kut. I live for Ma'at, I exist within her, I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at, my being is surrounded in darkness, I come forth as conscious light. Peace and love to everybody. Peace and love to the chat. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Arcad Infinite. I am a master student of the Natiru, and I am the Tichat of the teachings of Ma'at. I am also a student of the great Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, and I am the host of this weekly book study, Teachings of Ma'at. I'm a true-hearted follower of truth based on ancestral artifacts and a love of my people unconditionally. I am dedicated to Kemet and learning the Metal Netta and loyal to Ma'at at all times. Next, I would like to introduce our good brother, Tahuti Mos. Tahuti Mos is humbled at the opportunity to be at home in Ma'at with the guidance of Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, the Saba Saba. His quest for truth, as they call it, has brought him to the facts. In this experience, he has learned and will continue to teach that everyone has the truth, but it is the facts in which the foundation of anything one bases a decision upon should rest. This statement has increased his ability to find his place in the cosmos, and that place is here with you as a student of Ma'at. His journey continues to be an interesting and exciting experience. It began in the truths of Catholicism, Christianity, and Hebrew religions. Realizing these truths still left him with many unanswered questions and even more confused, he continued his quest and found the facts in Ma'at through the teachings of Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He is home, Tua to the ancestors. His interests are first in his family and second to manipulating this matrix to his will. The rest is all commentary. He is an ambassador for the teachings of Ma'at and a host of this weekly YouTube study guide. His other interests are health and healing, investment vehicles, and teaching of the facts of this wonderful existence. In closing, I am very excited to be on this journey with you all and to bring peace to this world through Ma'at as students of Ma'at. We will continue to grow and learn together and be the best versions of ourselves on earth and representatives of the ancestors. Hotep Ma'at. Next, we have our architect, that good brother Scribe. Scribe is a writer, poet, spoken word artist, audio producer, engineer, healer, spiritual advisor, consultant, and business creator. He is a master student of the Natiru, a true follower and protector of Ma'at. A scribe of Tahuti and Ma'at, he studies under the master teacher, Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. For the scribe, quality always outweighs quantity. He enjoys observing reality and incorporating these observations into his writings and creations to assist in awakening in dormant DNA and reversing of negative hypnosis. And last but not least, we have our presenter for the night and great leader, Ahati Ma'at. Ahati Ma'at was taught under the great Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He has been a serious student and teacher of Kemet culture and history for several years. He has written multiple books, including the textbook called Journey of Your Soul series, essays, and articles. Furthermore, he hosts in-person and online classes, weekly podcasts, and periodically creates documentaries. He also has experience in public speaking and academic debating. He is responsible for the creation of this weekly study guide, Sunday class for the teachings of Ma'at. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Peace and love. Brother, Scribe, we have any announcements before we begin?
Peace and love, Hotep Ma'at. Peace and offerings and blessings to everyone abroad. Thank you for once again tuning in for another exciting teaching of Saba Tahuti's book, Stepping Out of the Matrix. And so thank you all for joining us and learning and studying with us. So yeah, of course, first and foremost, we know the good brother Nito Campbell, of course, who is, you know, I don't know where this brother is, but we're gonna pull him out. We're gonna pull him out of here one day. One of these days, he's gonna come up. Thank you, my good brother. He says, "For in a world of numbers, consistency counts." That's absolutely that is absolutely true. So thank you for your consistency, and it means everything to us. And look forward to speaking with you one day, my brother. So peace and love to you. And of course, before we get started, I like to always just give a quick rundown of the website that we have. That's has everything that everyone needs to be able to learn about everything that we're doing here at the Teachings of Ma'at organization. We have a lot going on, and we're doing a lot for the present and preparing for the future. So I'm going to pull that up now. The website is teachingsofma'at.org, so you can be looking for it in the chat. It's also in the description box right below here, so you can click it and get there pretty quickly. So here's the home page of the website. And so once you get here, the good brother Hati Ma'at, he's going to go over the newsletter. And to be able to receive this newsletter, hold on, you guys, give me just one moment. All right, peace. I'm back. All right, let me go back here. All right, so what you do is you put in your email address right here on the sign up section. And as soon as you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation email. And once you do that, then you'll be able to receive our weekly newsletter every single week. And there's always amazing gems that's put in there between me and the good brother Arcad, and a wonderful synopsis of the previous teachings and what's to come for the good brother Ahati Ma'at. He writes that out for us. So it's a beautiful thing there. So visit the website. There's a lot going on there. And thank you all for your consistency once again. And thank you for your attention. Thank you for coming and joining us. We look forward to speaking with you more at the end of the teaching. We'll be posting the link in the chat for you all to come up and join in the conversation with us, express how the teachings have affected you, or express how you feel about the specific teaching that Ahati's going to give us tonight. And so we'll be posting that link at the end of the teaching. So don't be scared to come up here and join us, and express how you feel and express your opinion. And with that being said, I will pass it to the good brother Ahati Ma'at.
Before you go, Ahati, I just want to just point out that I did receive a donation as well. Scribe, check your message if you want to post it. The Sister Bella sent $10 before the class started. Shout out to Sister Bella. We like to post it. Scribe, I sent it. I don't know if I sent it through Signal, but I sent it. But shout out to you, sister. It said, Scribe, you got it?
Let me see here. Okay, yeah, I got your message that says Bella sent $10 for peace and love to you and your fam. We'll donate more ASAP, but I don't have it queued up here, so.
Okay. But peace and love to you, Bella. Shout out to you and everybody else in the chat. We appreciate all.
You're muted, Arcad.
Oh, I was just saying peace and love to Bella, Tua, for your support. We appreciate all the support. Peace and love to you, Tua.
Arcad, was that directed to the teachers of Ma'at, or was that sent personally to you?
It came to my Cash App.
So that's your donation. Scribe,
Yes.
that's his donation. It's not ours. That's for you, brother.
Tua, I appreciate that, Bella. But that's for us. We are an organization.
Yeah,
I
you
appreciate
can
the
do what you
support.
want with it, but
Absolutely.
I'm letting you know that was directed for you.
Absolutely. We just want to acknowledge all the support. Like we said, it's all energy and we appreciate it all. So shout out to you, Bella, and shout out to all the supporters consistently. We appreciate you. Peace and love.
Yes, absolutely. That's I want to say Tua or thank you to Bella also. That was we really appreciate it. I know the brother Arcad does because he just said it. And maybe one day you'll come on the screen too. I don't know. We'll see. But we appreciate you. Thank you. I want to say peace to the chat. And I'm going to show you right now our beautiful newsletter that's put together by these two brothers are up on the panel with me, Arcad and Scribe. And let me pull it up right here. All right, here we go. So when you sign up, as the Scribe showed you, when you sign up on the website, it's real simple. You just put your email in, hit the send button or click or whatever it says, and you'll be directed to the leaders of the teachingsofma.org email, and somebody will set up your automatic. Oh, let me plug in my laptop 1 second. Excuse me. All right, here we go. And someone will send you out a newsletter. And this is what it will look like. You'll get a weekly newsletter. It'll say Teachings of Ma'at. The movement begins with you. It seems like the newsletter is growing. It's getting additional pages each week, which is really, really cool. I think we only started out with either 5 or 6 in the beginning. Now we're up to 10. So it says Teachings of Ma'at. The movement begins with you. Book study breakdown and news. And it'll have an issue number and the date so you can keep track. And there'll always be a little greeting in the beginning. Then we'll have About Us section. And in the About Us section, we always post our mission. And the mission is to bring back home to the mindset of Ma'at as many sisters, brothers, and their children as possible and free melanated people from the Tamahus. For the new people out there listening, the Tamahu is now called the Caucasian matrix. So our mission is to free our children from this matrix we're all presently in. And as you can see in the background, there's beautiful illustrations being put in now. I'm just seeing this for the first time. Looks really, really good. So there's always a brief synopsis, as the scribe said, a couple paragraphs. So if you're on a run, if you're a really busy person, if you go to college, if you got to go to a grocery store to get food, you can look at this on your app real quick. You can look at this on your mobile phone real quick. And it's only a couple of short paragraphs. So for instance, it says the speaker scribe read from Tahuti's book, page 90, the part that describes who Osiris the Great Black was. Some highlights are God of Resurrection, inspiration for Jesus, first child of Nut and Geb, ruled men after Ra, and was the first living God to die. However, who is Unefer? And so sign up so you can read the rest of that and find out who exactly is Unefer. So we go to page 2. Actually, that was page 2. This is page 3. And I love page 3 because every week it's always a brand new picture, eye-popping picture, highlighting what was spoken, what the speaker spoke about the previous week. It's excellent. And you always get some meta netter in with the picture. You always get primary sources. Following in the footsteps of our great Saba. So right here, for instance, you have Afiasar. It means the flesh of Osiris, the sun god of night, or the dead body of Ra. He was a form of the ram-headed god, and his shrine is encircled by the serpent Mehen. And you scroll down, and we get to the part of Unefer, and we find out who Unefer was and what Un was. So you always get Medunetter, you always get beautiful graphics, and you always get some glyphs, some tomb paintings in there too. Okay, we're always looking for membership. Right now, we're looking for writers, editors, managers, digital designers, social media content creators, and organizers for physical meetups. If you have a skill or talent that could be beneficial to the Teachings of Ma'at organization, contact leadership at teachingsofma'at.org. Contact us at leadership at teachingsofma'at.org. And I want to emphasize, if you believe we all have some skill or talent, but if you believe you don't have any, we are here to help you, sister or brother, and assist you in being the best possible you can be. So we need everyone. So sign up today. You can sign up through your email. You can send us an email. All right, so things to consider before skipping the study. What are the weekly studies about? They're based off the teachings of Tahuti, a way to connect our community of truth seekers with the leadership of the teachings of Ma'at. You are now witnessing his wisdom in action, similar to all movements. Information without good vibration manifests nothing. Join us. So if you have been searching your entire life, like me, for a teacher teaching that can free you from fear, stress, worry, anger, then you found the right home. Even if you are very knowledgeable about Ma'at and Kemet, then we could use your service to free the minds of our people. All are welcome. So Kemet was a nation first. It was not a religion, so we don't care what religion, belief system you come from. If you are seeking the truth, you are in the right place. Now we come to page 6. The pages keep getting better. Purchase your TOM merch today. We got some fantastic merch right here, everybody. We have stuff for the sisters, for the brothers, even for the children. And the great thing about this is that you get 10% off your first purchase when you sign up for the newsletter. So just signing up today, you get 10% off the merch. Now, you get 10% off forever as long as you were a Teachings of Ma'at member. So once you become a member, forever you get 10% off. That's a deal of a lifetime. You get short sleeve shirts. We have long sleeve shirts. They come in all different colors. We have hoodies. I'm sure this is the product of the Scribe. I want to shout out to Scribe for his great talent. Get in touch with him. I'm sure he has new products that me and Arcad have not even seen or heard about yet. Get in touch with him today, and he can give you more info on how to purchase some merch. This is a new section of ours, the Teachings of Ma'at Social Hub. So go to our youtube.com, Teachings of Ma'at. Visit Tahuti's channel. Make sure you subscribe to Saba Tahuti. His is at Mystical TV. We started a Twitter, Teachings of Ma'at, twitter.com, and a TikTok, Teachings of Ma'at at tiktok.com. And we have, if you have anything on your mind you need to talk about, message us at teachingsofma'at.org. And the easiest way to do that is see this box right here. All you have to do is scan it with a QR code app. It says right here, click or scan this image to redirect to our social media hub. Easy, easy, easy. And the Teachings of Ma'at is always open for your donations. So another easy way, you can just scan the cash up here to make a donation. As you heard, Sister Bella already is on it. Same with Nito Campbell. This is the great Saba, our teacher. This is the founders right here. And we each have our own individual section in the website with our own individual page. And now, as always, we will always put new memberships here. We will always give you your personal shout out if you want it. If you want to remain anonymous, that's fine too. We just want to let those that are anonymous, we appreciate you too. So I want to shout out the members. The newest member is Sandra Carey. Sandra Carey, welcome. And the first couple of the Teachings of Ma'at is Anuka and his mate Antu. Shout out to you also. And then always the Teachings of Ma'at supporters we have that have donated more than once. We have Nito Campbell, We have Artisan Hawkins, True Seeker 22, E Manifesto, and Shannon Southard, excuse me. Shout out to you. And it's your consistent support that helps us grow. So true. All right, that's it for the newsletter.
Hotep Ma'at. So without further ado, we're looking forward to your great presentation. We're going to be closing out, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be closing out this week with the last 10 pages of Saba's book, Stepping Out of the Matrix. And then after that, like good brother Scribe said, and we've come to the agreement, we're going to read the great teachings from some of our ancestors, and we're going to go into that a little bit. And then at the top of the year, we will begin Saba's second book, which is called Melanin and Dark Consciousness. We're looking forward to that. And then when we're finished with that, then hopefully we could have Saba's third book that he will present to the world, if we can motivate him to get out one of his other books, because we got to keep this going. So Hotep Ma'at to everyone in the chat. And we're going to pass it over to Ahati Ma'at, and looking forward to his wonderful breakdown that he always brings. Peace and love.
Peace and love, my brother. Thank you. Scribe, quick question. Would it be easier if I have a video file I want to show? Would it be easier if I uploaded it to the present button, or just let you know when I'm ready to share it?
Well, how long is it?
It's 9 minutes, but I'm not going to show the whole thing.
It'll probably be better just to just share your screen regularly, and when you hit the share screen, it'll say share system audio at the bottom, and just make sure that's clicked under entire screen.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, let's... Oh, I see what you're talking about. Let's get to Saba's book here. Let me see, got it.
Peace and love. Shout out to Shannon. Shout out to Shannon Southard, Tua, Jody. Peace and love to you. And also shout out to Kemet, Heru Hancock, and Big Vape. Big Vape, shout out to you, brothers.
I don't know what's going on. Is that it? Is this sharing? It's not letting me share. There we go. Okay. All right. Can you brothers see the screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So like the good brother Arcad said, we're coming to a close with Stepping Out of the Matrix. Here we go. So this is a symbol, this one right here. This is a symbol of Auset. It represents the protective power of the female. It's called the Sa. You see one of Auset's names was Het Heru, or Hathor, which means house of Heru, which is the womb that keeps the young child safe. Auset was the protector of Heru, her son, and Asar, her husband. Purim Heru, page 229. Auset saith, I have come that I may be your protector. Purim Heru, page 231. Nebhet, I have gone round behind my brother, I come to be his protection behind you. Auset and Nebhet, the sexual spiritual wives of Asar, behind him, protecting and supporting him. So the women were always standing behind us, being our protectors and our supporters, or protectors and providers. Where we get the same, my woman got my back. The symbol of the fish of Auset was represented as the Anoxorus fish of Kemet. That's what they call the elephant fish now. Who in the story of Asar swallowed his penis, a symbol that is so cherished today by archaeologists, and collects that It now sells for $3,000. This is from DK Antiques and Collectibles. We have the Egyptian bronze figure of an rhinoceros fish wearing a modus surmounted by cow horns and a solar disc with an incised scale pattern of 5¾ inch and 4.5 centimeters long. Late period to Ptolemaic period, 664 to 630 BC. The price is from $2,500 to $3,000. The symbol of the penis swallower, which represents the watery womb of life, and of course the vagina, was picked up by Pythagoras and became known as the measurement of the fish in 535 BC. Once again, 570 years before a Jesus or a Christian. This symbol represented the creative powers of Isis and any female who delivers life from the vagina. The flower of life, which became associated with the red rose or flower, and the tree of life, which is the female, the tree of life, the life giver. If we look at the word tree, you will see that it ties into the word trio, meaning three. It's the same word. And he shows some etymology here for trio. It means three. It's from 1724. And then he shows something from Charles Wayne. And it says, associated with Charlemagne, originally with the bright star Arcticus, which is linked by folk etymology to L. Artis Arthur. The crux of this is the legendary association of Arthur and Charlemagne. Other names for it are the Plow and the Big Dipper. It is an asterism, not a true constellation. Technically, it is a part of Ursa Major. And then it says the 7 plow oxen from Setepin. Remember that, Setepin, for later on when I do my presentation. 7. Plow ox from stem of to rear to rub. Then the etymology for tree is treo, tree wood, from the Proto-Indo-European root doru, oak. Greek dryas, oak, tree. Importance of the oak in mythology is reflected in the recurring use of words for oak to mean tree. The thing made of wood, especially the cross of the crucifixion and a gallows, a turbine tree gallows mentioned at 12th century Tyburn at the junction of Oxford Street and Edgewater Road. Okay, it just goes on about something in England. It says sense and family, tree first attested, 1706, verb meaning to chase up a tree is from 1700, tree hugger, environmentalist is from 1989. This became the female is based on the number 3, the trimester period of childbirth. The 3 fluids that secrete for fruition of a child, by the way, fruition is from the word fruit, the bearer of life, and what is called the triple goddess, Sekhmet. This is why the fish is in 3s on the Bible cover. Not just one fish, not just 2 fish, but 3. Ask the pastors why this is. And I don't know how to zoom into a PDF, so hopefully you can see it clearly. But you can see here we have the 3 symbols of the fish, or the Vesica Pisces, representing the triple goddess, the warrior goddess, the lioness, Sekhmet, or Sekhet. You can also, you remember the book, The Craft? I believe there's a movie too called The Craft. It also has the Vesica Pisces on here with the triple goddess, The Witch's Book of Shadows by Dorothy Morrison. And then on this cup here, we have the triple goddess represented again. 3 is the square root of 9, and 9 is a symbol of the complete trimester period of a woman's pregnancy, which is why the number 3 is associated with the woman in the fish, which is life in water, which is exactly what an embryo is. 3 also represents birth in a sequence called the Fibonacci sequence, which is the sequence of life. It is 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, etc. The first sequential numbers are 1, 2, 3. After that, the numbers begin to vary. Thus, 3 and 9 represent birth, as did the fish symbol to Osset and Kemet. The fish, the penis, the fish symbol became acquainted to Pythagoras as the measurement which attained the square root of 3. The mathematics of creation, the measurement of the Sphinx extending by the 3 pyramids by the Fibonacci sequence straight through to the 33-degree line of latitude. You can see it right here, which also became known as the golden spiral. So we see right here the Vesica Pisces. We see when the male and female are connected, they become one, or un. The ratio that the fish created was 265 over 153. The width measured by the length, which gave the number 1.73, which is the square root of 3. You can see it right here in the Vesica Pisces. These symbols put together creates the mathematical codes and shapes that create what people call the geometric tree of life, as seen below, right here, flower of life. This symbol also represents atomic structure, which is the building blocks of life. So here we have a nitrogen atom, central nucleus of 7 protons, 7 neutrons, surrounded by 7 electrons. But note that this became popularized through Pythagoras in 535 BC, 535 years before Christianity could even conceive this symbol. Now remember where Pythagoras received his schooling. Kemet. So Pythagoras learned all this way before Moses and Abraham and Jesus and Muhammad. He learned about what we now call today's science. So I now turn you to the significance of this symbol in Egypt, tying into the name of Asar that we discussed above. Asar's name was Un-Nefer, which means beautiful existence. Now, the Pythagoras symbol represented creation and existence through mathematical code of 153, which was a sacred number to Pythagoras, and now you know why. But the question is, did the symbol exist in Egypt as a symbol tying into existence? The answer is yes. Let me read this paragraph over because there's so much you can pull away from this. And I love this paragraph because it really opened my eyes to mathematics pertaining to how we live our lives from day to day. So I'm going to read it over. It says, so I now turn to the significance, of this symbol in Egypt tying into the name Asar that we discussed above Asar's name as Un-Nefer, which means beautiful existence. So if you are a male and you love Ma'at and you're following Kemet and you're listening to Sabatui's teachings, you are a beautiful existence. Now the Pythagoras symbol represented creation and existence through mathematical code of 153. Remember the 153 for later on when I do my presentation, how it ties into you, which was a sacred number to Pythagoras. I wonder why. And now you know why. But the question is, did this symbol exist in Egypt as a symbol tying into existence? The answer is yes. Here is how you spell Asar's name, Un-Nefer. This is the glyph for Un, which means creation, to exist, existence. And here is the Pythagoras symbol taken from Kemet that represents creation and measurement of existence. Flower life. And finally, here is the quantum, or the physicist's magnification of an actual electron orbit, the beginnings of an atom, or the beginnings of our physical bodies, right here. This cannot be denied, my people. But let's get back into how all this 535 years later tied into the Bible that you hold in your hand today. Now we have discussed the measurement of the fish that Pythagoras received from Kemet and how the sacred number was 153. For further connection to why this number was sacred and not the 265 number, even though both numbers made up the measurement 265 over 153, is because the 153 has an even deeper representation in Kemet, and that is the mathematics of the pyramids themselves. The Great Akuz. Let me show you now the high mathematic relevance of what the number 153 being the square root of 3 really dates back to, which is 36,500 years ago, with the Kut, which are the pyramids. Let's look at the measurements. So the pyramid height equals 486.256 feet. The pyramid base leg equals 763.81 feet. That's 763.81 pi 486.256 plus pi to the 10 equals 152.9999934. Rounded off is 153. The Comedians knew this, and this is where Pythagoras gets it from when he went and learned there. Now, with all this in mind and understanding how this number was an Egyptian equation, which represented the fish thousands of years before Christianity, and at least 535 years before Jesus, taking the time period of Pythagoras. The key word is taking. Taking. Jesus took all this, turned it into... Actually, the Greeks took all this and then created Jesus from it. So let's now open the pages of the Bible to the book of John, chapter 21, verse 10. Jesus saith unto them, bring of the fish which ye have now caught. John chapter 21:11. Simon Peter went up and drew the net to find full of great fishes, and 153. And for all there were so many yet, was not the net broken? How many fish were caught? So many, but an exact number is given here, 153. Why, pastor? Why, minister? Why, theologian? Do you really know? Well, I hope you do now. We must realize that we are caught in a web, and this web is the matrix, a carefully devised plan by our oppressors and forces that feed off of ignorance and destruction in order to control the masses, especially the descendants of ancient Kemet. I have been guided by the forces of nature to reveal these truths. I have taken on that responsibility of a Morpheus to unplug you children of the Natiru. Join me for Volume 2 of Stepping Out of the Matrix as we continue to look at exactly what they have stolen word for word out of your most sacred and ancient texts to create Christianity. Digest this for now. Much love from the bosom of Osset. Not Asar, from the bosom of Osset, in the mind of Tahuti, to resurrect you as an Asar, to once again become a great black. The great and always legendary Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, Ma'at Hotep. All right. Let's get into it. Let me share screen. Can you brothers hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and
Yes.
clear.
Yes, we can hear you, brother.
Okay, perfect. Let me know when I'm sharing here.
All right, you're sharing.
Okay. All right. So here is the presentation. So I want to do something new. It's more of a. It's not only for me. It's for those of you that feel compelled to do it, either silent or with me. But it's in dedication to Saba and to Ma'at and to our future nation. So, E Neb Ma'at per M Ma'ati. Hail Ma'at is everything we come forth from her. Henu Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. Hail Sahaba Tahuti. Henu Kemet. Hail Kemet. Makaru, Makaru, Makaru. Victory, victory, victory. That is our victory voice. All right, let me get out of here. All right, so this presentation is brought to you by me, Ahati Ma'at. If you have questions, just hit me up on email to ahatimaat@teachers.org, and I'm open to talk with you. This is called Threes and T's, Sacred Numbers and Angles of Life. The mind and vagina of the universe. We're going to be touching on the number 3, the Vesica Pisces, a little bit of NLP, and Het Haru. So the number 3. So yes, 3 does mean plurality. This is from, if you're brand new, this is from Richard H. Wilkinson, Symbol in Magic in Egyptian Art. And a lot of people already know 3 is the number of plurality. Above all else, 3 was the number associated with the concept of plurality. In the hieroglyphic script, plural words were usually followed by a group of 3 marker signs by which plurality was designated. In the word for gods, or necher, shown here, 2 forms of plural marker are seen. The first instance shows the flag-like sign for God, followed by 3 God determinatives. And the second shows the God determinative, followed by 3 short strokes. I also want to point out, though, that 3 also stands for magnification, because when we look at the glyph here, you don't see 3 penises here. These 3 strokes underneath means that this symbol here is very powerful. Why is it very powerful? Because without the penis and without a male's semen, there is no you or I. So whenever you see the number 3, it not only means plurality, it also means greatness, or something thrice or 3 times great, or magnification. The number 3 also means the 3 companies of the Nitiru, or the great gods, or the Peshet, or Pesheshu. So, where does the number 3 come from? The number 3 comes from 3 angles. 3 angles. And it actually comes from Arabic. They're the ones that started it, and they are the creators of what's called algebra. But the number 3 comes from 3 angles. What else creates 3 angles? Well, the face of the Great Aku, the Rhiine Papyrus. The Rhiine Papyrus is ancient Egyptian scroll bearing the mathematical tables and problems. This extensive document from ancient Egypt has been the source of much information about Egyptian mathematics. The papyrus was bought in 1858 in a Nile resort town by a Scottish antiquary, Alexander Henry Rhind, hence its name. Less frequently, it is called the Ames Papyrus in honor of the scribe who copied it about 1650 BC. So you see here that the Comedians knew long before Henry Rhind and Pythagoras. They knew about the number 3 in angles. You come over here on the top left, and you'll see popular memes such as the mystery of the 153 fish. And then you'll see the Hebrew language here, Hebrew lettering here. Not realizing that this is all stolen, plagiarized material. Because when you go to Wikipedia and you look up the uses of the number 153, it's in every sector of our lives. And there, for religion, there's just numerous Bible verses using this great number. And it is a great number, and we're going to get to that. It's great because it deals with something that all men love, that all men want to get back into, that all men compete to get back into, and that all male species just about on the planet are competing for. And that is the vesica Pisces, or the female's vagina. So the vesica within a vesica is also seen to determine the slope and angles of the Great Pyramid of Giza at 51 degrees, 51 feet. And as you can see here, they run right in between the vesica, between the two circles. And you can see them down over here, that the vesica fits within the aku, and the aku fits in between the two circles within the vesica Pisces. Okay, so only pyramids that have a base polygon with 3, 4, or 5 sides may be composed entirely of regular polygons. This requires that every face of the pyramid has sides of equal length and eternal angles of equal magnitude. The base of the pyramid must be an equilateral triangle, a square, or a regular pentagon. The remaining faces must be congruent equilateral triangles with a side length equal to the length of one side of the base polygon. The pyramid itself may be considered to be a regular pyramid, or sometimes they're called a right pyramid, if the base of the pyramid is a regular polygon and the sides of the pyramid are congruent triangles, either equilateral or isosceles. If the base of the pyramid is not a regular polygon, therefore the lengths of the sides and the magnitudes of the eternal angle vary, then the pyramid itself will also be irregular. So the pyramid is also known as a triangular number. And a triangular number, or a triangle number, counts objects arranged in an equilateral triangle. As you can see here, here's a geometry equilateral triangle. The triangle that's equal on 3 sides, and each side has the same length, and they all add up to whose number? 60 plus 60 is 120, 120 plus 60 is 180, and when you add 1 and 8 together, you come up with the great number 9, Tahuti's number. So 153 right here, we're beginning the connection with 153 to the great Aku, because the Aku is an equilateral triangle, and its link is through what? The mathematics. This is from Nova. It's an old, it used to be an old program on PBS. It says the base of the Great Pyramid is a square with each side measuring 756 feet and covering an area of 5.3 hectares or 13 acres. How much is that? Imagine a football field. Nearly 10 football fields could fit within its base. So 10 football fields could fit within the base of the Great Aku. Okay, let's get into it. So, first, I just want to mention the Great Aku was called the Akut. Was called the Akut Khufu, the Akut Khufu. I just want to point out some glyphs right here. This is the actual name for Khufu's pyramid that Khufu called it. He didn't call it a pyramid. So the Khufu has some interesting glyphs in here. It has, if you notice right away, it has the Ba, or the Khu. And the Khu is represented by whose bird again? It's represented by Tahuti's bird, or the Kem bird, which also represents consciousness, intelligence, and light. And light. And that's where the word Khu comes from. Okay? And here we see the equilateral triangle again with its base. Okay, so the number pi is a mathematical constant that is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, approximately equal to 3.14159. Now let me break down the radius. Okay. So when you go to the etymology of the word radius, something peculiar pops up. First of all, this thing I'm going to point out is if you're using this fantastic tool and you see a word unknown, the Tamahus are really trying to hide its historical meaning. So whenever you see a word unknown, the Tamahu had to make up this word to try to distort our perception from figuring out what is the meaning, what is the true meaning of the radius. So the true meaning of the radius etymology means a ray of light or beam of light. And I wonder why, because when you come down here and you follow me to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you see this is the universal symbol for a radius. And then look over here, slightly to the right at the bottom of the screen, and you'll see Ra's symbol. His universal symbol is a circle with a dot within. But you see the difference is they don't give credit to Ra, they just call it a radius. So a radius means a ray of light or a beam of light. So why is this important to the number 3, to the number 153 in the Vesica Pisces? But before we get into that, I want to show you a quick video really quick. Let's see if I can put up here. Let me see what I got here. All right, here we go.
There is another subtle thing that you might notice as you walk
Scribe,
around
can you
the
hear
base of
it?
the Great Pyramid, and
Yes.
that is that it isn't quite
Can you see
sitting
it?
flat on the bottom levels of
Yes,
the
sir.
foundation.
Yes, we can see it and hear it. How's my
Something
mic?
called a socle, which
Perfect,
is around
perfect.
55 centimeters
All right, let me
high.
play real again. Okay.
There is another subtle thing that you might notice as you walk around the base of the Great Pyramid, and that is that it isn't quite sitting flat on the bottom levels of the foundation. It rests on something called a socle, which is around 55 centimeters high, a distance thought to be equal to the ancient measure of 1 cubit. It extends out a short distance from the edge of the pyramid before dropping down this 55 centimeters, and you can see it in these shots here. The socle essentially gives us two ways to measure both the circumference of the pyramid and its height, one measurement with the socle and one without the socle. So which one is the right measurement, and why did they build it this way? In order for us to understand the answer to this question, we must first talk a little bit about the planet itself. As I'm sure many of you know, Earth itself is not a perfect sphere. It's an oblate spheroid. As the Earth spins, there is a very slight flattening at our poles and a very slight bulge around the equator. In practice, this means that the polar radius of the Earth, or the distance from the very center of the Earth out to the poles, is roughly 13 miles less than the equatorial radius, or the distance from the center of the Earth out to the equator. This means that the distance around the Earth at the equator, going east to west, is slightly longer than the distance around the Earth at the poles when you travel north to south. Hence, we call it an oblate spheroid. It's a very important aspect of the planet, as without this dynamic, we would probably not have as stable a rotation nor an orbit as we do. The difference in this equatorial or east-west distance around the Earth versus the distance around the poles, going north to south, is reflected in the grid of longitude and latitude that we use to map the planet. On the equator, 1 square degree of latitude and longitude does not form a perfect square. Let's use this handy little calculator I found online to demonstrate this by measuring 1 square degree of latitude and longitude at the equator. At latitude 0, which is on the equator, 1 degree of latitude, or north-south, measures 68.71 miles, and 1 degree of longitude, or east-west, measures 69.17 miles. There's 60 minutes in a degree, so 1 square minute of latitude and longitude at the equator would be 1/60th of these measurements. 1/4 of 1 square minute at the equator measures 3,022.9 feet in latitude and 3,043.5 feet in longitude. So you might think that this is interesting, but what on earth does this have to do with the Great Pyramid? Well, hold on to your hats, because according to the best survey numbers that we have, the perimeter length of the Great Pyramid without the socle is 3,023.1 feet, and the perimeter including the socle is 3,043.4 feet. What we have here in the Great Pyramid is an extremely accurate representation of the true shape of the Earth as an oblate spheroid. The ratio of the perimeter of the pyramid versus the perimeter of the socle is a damn near perfectly exact match to the ratio of latitude and longitude on the planet. The fact that this ratio is accurately described in the architecture of the pyramid is absolutely stunning, and in no way can we attribute this level of knowledge to what we know of the ancient Egyptians. Yet, here is the same data, reflected in the dimensions of one of the greatest and most ancient monuments ever constructed. Do you really think that this was simply an accident of its design? Of course, this is what our Orthodox historians and skeptics in general will say about it. That it's just a happy and somewhat odd coincidence of numerology. They say this why? Because the dynastic Egyptians didn't have this knowledge of the planet, and under no circumstances can we entertain the idea that they did not actually build this pyramid, so it can only be an accident. I thoroughly disagree with this conclusion, because when you start getting into the various aspects of sacred geometry as they relate to the pyramid and to the planet, along with the utter precision that is evident in its construction, this fact about latitude and longitude is merely the tip of the iceberg. Once again, I can only recommend to anyone who's interested in these topics to follow Randall Carlson's work. He teaches sacred geometry, and I first heard about the pyramid socle from him, and a link to that video is below. I will come back to latitude and longitude and explain how I think these dimensions of the Great Pyramid connect to ancient maps, but briefly first, I wanted to explain a few of the other so-called coincidences of geometry or accidents of precision that are evident in the construction of the Great Pyramid, and all of these are worthy of mention, and certainly all of them are worthy of further discussion. The Great Pyramid is effectively a scale model of one hemisphere of the Earth, at a ratio of 1 to 43,200. 43,200 is quite a significant number, both across history and when it comes to the Earth, as many of you who are paying attention in sacred geometry class might know. There are 43,200 seconds of daylight on one hemisphere of the Earth during the equinox. It's half the number of seconds in a 24-hour period. In 2 seconds of time, which is 1/43,200th part of the day-night cycle, the Earth's rotation will cause a point on the equator to travel a distance precisely equal to the perimeter of the pyramid, as measured with the socle. If you take the height of the Great Pyramid, including the socle, which is 482.755 feet, and multiply that by 43,200, you get 3,949.83 miles, which is almost exactly the polar radius of the Earth as determined by satellite surveys in the 1970s. And this is down to an accuracy of within 300 feet over the entire surface of the Earth. In an excellent couple of articles on Graham Hancock's website, links are below, Authors Gary Osborne and Scott Creighton make the case that the physical location of the pyramid and the internal angles and relative positions of its chambers indicate a deep understanding of the Earth's orbital dynamics and reflect the tilt of the polar axis of 23.5 degrees. It's this tilt that gives us our annual seasons as the Earth transits around the Sun. Indeed, according to the article's authors, the pyramid may also tell us of a shifting of this tilt of the polar axis, something that must have happened at some point deep in the past. Pi is represented in the Great Pyramid before it was ever supposedly discovered by humanity and its civilizations. I thought I'd demonstrate this using a couple of little basic props. One is this jar lid over here, and the other is this little souvenir that I brought back from Egypt on one of my trips. It's actually made out of granite. First thing to understand is what is pi. Most people know what pi is, but pi is the ratio of the circumference of a circle in relation to its diameter. Of course, with pyramids, you can set the height to be pretty much at any level, but the height of the Great Pyramid seems to have been set to a very deliberate height. If you create a circle with the same length as the base of all four sides of the pyramid, then the radius of that circle will equal the height of the Great Pyramid to within about 5 inches, which is absolutely remarkable. The golden ratio, known as phi, is also represented in the dimensions of the Great Pyramid. Phi is a fundamental constant of...
Okay. So if that was Ben from Uncharted X, if you've never heard of him or heard that channel, it's on YouTube. Highly recommend him. He's like the up and coming Robert Bivol, John Anthony West. He took over the reign from them. All right. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so the Vesica Pisces. Here we go. So the two circles share a common A and B. So A and B within the Vesica Pisces here share a common radius known as 1. The intersecting circles create a Vesica Pisces. That's this right here. The minor axis of the Vesica Pisces equals 1. That's A and B. The major axis, which is C and D, equals the square root of 3, 1.732. That's actually backwards. It's actually A and B equals the square root, and C and D equals the 1. The proof is in the right triangle from E. Here's E, B, and C. This forms a right triangle or 90-degree triangle, which gives us again the number 9. 9 and 0 is 9. Again, back to Tahuti. Now in the right triangle, E, B, and C, E and B is half of A and B, or 0.5. C and B is also a radius of the circle whose center is B, right here. So C and B equals A and B, and this equals 1, or 1 angle. Therefore, using the Pythagorean theorem, C and D is perpendicular to A and B, which equals C, E, and B equals a 90-degree angle. So we'll get into all that. I'll break that down further with the radius. But you can see the number of Tahuti operating mathematically within the Vesica Pisces, or the womb of our females, in order to create matter here on the planet. Now, 153, and don't worry if you don't follow this or it sounds like you're in I don't even know what class they call it. I've been out of school so long, but I know it might sound like you don't understand what's going on. That's fine. I'll be breaking this down further soon. Number 53 is also known as a hexagonal number because you can see the hexagon here. Hexagons have 6 sides. The word hex to the Tamahu means a curse. Let me reiterate that. So we have to realize that everything is in reverse in the matrix. So what we deem as correct, quote unquote correct, and quote unquote what's good, the Tamahu deems as wrong and incorrect. So the word hex to the Tamahu means a curse. Because of religion, what is called magic, our ancestors' way of thinking and acting prior to colonization. Okay? Because of religion, what is called magic, our ancestors' way of thinking and acting prior to colonization became evil and labeled as spell. Hex also means 6 and sex in Latin. Okay. So the circle of life, the literal circle of life, is the Vesica Pisces. You see the 2 circles here. When they create, or when they unite, or when they connect with each other, the portal, the gateway, the door, the vagina, the uterus, the womb opens up like a flower to receive. And this is how great the universe is, to receive, but at the same time, it's a life based on reciprocity, which what we talk about every week, just about in the Tahuti podcast, that it opens up to receive, but it also gives back according to the number of the Fibonacci sequence, which are the trimesters. So the circle of life is a Vesica Pisces. Tahuti's sacred number 9, again brought to ecstasy by his female's pleasing mathematical portal. And this was modified. The original information, I just blew it up, drew it larger to scale. It was very tiny. I had to recreate everything and draw it bigger to scale. But the source actually comes from geomancy.org if anybody wants to look that up. So now, are you ready for the etymology of 6? What is the etymology of 6? The etymology of 6, ladies and gentlemen, is Heka. Heka. If you've been in the Medu Netter class with us, if you've been following Tahuti, if you've been following the study guide class for a while, you understand that we use this word Heka a lot. Well, the Tamahu uses it too. And it's from the Greek. The Proto-European root is swex, or 6. So they've linked the number 6, whose square root is 3, to the he and the ka, to your light energy. Okay, let's keep going. So the number 153 added together equals 9. Coincidence? Hardly. This is the Nitsiru's special mathematical symbol for all people, places, and things in creation. 3 angles, faces of the Ku, pyramid, which also means light and consciousness in Kemet, brought self-awareness to the world long ago, called the Ret Emre. The Ret Emre are the people of Ra, just so you and I could share similar knowledge tonight. So we're going to get into a little trigonometry, but not get into it like you think, like how school would present it, because I wouldn't want to get into that. That's too boring. We're just going to break down what the word trigonometry means and where it comes from. So the trigonometric functions rely on angles, and mathematics generally use radians as units of measurements. Pi plays an important role in angles measured in radians, which are defined so that a complete circle spans an angle of 2 radians, the angle measure of 180 degrees. There's the number 9 again, is equal to pi radian. And 1 degree equals pi in 180 radians. Okay, what is a radian? Well, a radian is just, the etymology of a radian is radius. So we're back to Ra again, one of the Natiru. So a radian is an angle made by an arc of the circle whose arc length is equal to the radius of the circle. If we consider the circumference of the circle, then angle in radians equals circumference over radius. Angle in radians equals 2 pi radian over radian equals 2 pi. We know that the angle subtended by the center of the circle is 360 degrees again. That is 9 again. 2 pi rad, which rad is just short for radian, equals 360 degrees, number 9. 1 rad, so half of 2 rad or 1 rad or half of a circle is 180 degrees, and we all know that an entire circle is 360 degrees. That's 2 radian or rad. Okay, so pi equals 3.14. Radian, the etymology is radius, which comes from Ra. This plays an important role. Why? Why does this play an important role? The greater coup and Earth's circumference both equal pi. We just saw that from the video. Let's look at a short video. Okay, we already did the video. To break down the word trigonometry in relation to the goddesses, aka the Neteret. So let's do some trig right now. But first, the Per Mecha. The Per Mecha is what they're calling the noxious fish because it came from the Nile part, the part of the Nile River in the town or city called Per Mech. So it was a fish from Per Mech. They're now calling it the Rhinoceros. And it represents the penis swallower. Represents the penis swallower because it comes, the story, one of the stories is in here, dealing with the great battle between Set and his brother Osiris. And how Osiris got chopped up into 14 pieces and his penis got thrown into the Nile River and swallowed by this fish. And I want you to pay attention to the Per Mecha and look at what's on top of it. And I want you to think about it because it's been taught about by Grace Saba Tahuti. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. So I want you to look at the horns, the disc, and the wadjet or the cobra on its brow. So the Per Mecha is now called a swim bladder, which helps the fish conserve energy by buoyancy or keeping them afloat so they do not have to keep moving in an upward thrust. This is where the name Vesica Pisces got its inspiration from. It looks like the bladder of a fish. This is just how the Greeks looked at it. However, we know today that the symbol of the fish always represented the goddesses. Let me reiterate that. However, we know today that the symbol of the fish always represented the goddesses. One in particular, Auset, the original giver of life, similar to us in the womb, the fish too survives in water. Okay, now let's break down trigonometry. So trigonometry, a branch of mathematics that deals with relations between sides and angles of triangles from 1610s. From the Greek trigonon, it means triangle. I'm only going to be dealing with the red underlined, highlighted words. It says C tri, gonia, angle corner, and from the Proto-Indo-European root me, to measure. We go down to the bottom right-hand corner. It says trig. For the 1200s, trig means firm, trusty, true. Its root word is daru. It means to be firm, solid, steadfast. We go up to daru. We see daru means wood, tree. We went over that in the beginning. When we come here to the red circle, highlighted circle, it says trig. It means smart and trim. It also means truth. Okay. Then we come to the bottom left-hand corner and we look up trees etymology, and it means firm and solid. So everything is connecting here. Everything is connecting, and it's all starting from the base, literally, of a tree. No pun intended. It's starting from the base of a tree. This is where they're getting their mathematics from, the Greeks. Continuing on, we go to tri, and tri means the number 3, just like Saba spoke about Tetreo in his book. So the tree and the 3 in trigonometry that deals with the angles of the greater coup, all are related. We go over to the me, and the interesting part, it means to measure, but it also means menopause, menses, menstrual, menstruate, and in the biological tracking system, which is the moon that tracks the menstrual cycle of our females, is the connection too. So all of these etymologies are connecting right back to our goddesses as being a tree, as being our base, as being our support, as being our protectors. And then we go to the origin, the source, of course, and we get the Tichet. The Tichet is the tree trunk. See the Tichet? And then you see the Wajit here with the hand out, with the hand open and out, the opener, the Wajit. The backbone of Osiris. The backbone. So, sisters out there that are listening, will be listening in the future, we're not joking when we say you are our backbone. When it comes to our mentality, it is your strength that allows us to go out day and day to support you physically. And without that, we are finished. So this was well known and established with our ancestors. And they taught this while we were in the womb too. They taught this because the energy vibrations from our parents would emanate this knowledge to the womb. That the female is the original provider and protector. Okay. So, here is Saba's, one of his pages. It's from Stepping Out of the Matrix. It's a source, page 100, softcover. The softcover book. And I modified this a little bit. And Saba knows. And he was pleased. And you can see that the ratio that the fish created was 265 over 153. The wisp measured by the length, which gave the number 1.73, which is the square root of 3. So the 153 is the male energy, let's just say, and the 265 is the female energy, because the female has the Vesica Pisces, or the vagina. And I'm not going by 2022 standards of what a female is, because I know surgeries can be done. I'm saying the biological female, mathematically created by nature, is the 265. So both are needed to create and continue the family tree. So this word, the family tree, came from Kemet. Came from a glyph from Kemet called the Am, and it's actually called the Tree of Life. So in the MetaNetter, if you search, you can find the MetaNetter word for the Tree of Life. It's there. This is one of the glyphs to the Tree of Life, and it literally looks like part of the placenta, the veins that are on a placenta. you really look close at it. So this is the family tree, because without this and the placenta, you don't have that family tree. There are no people. Okay? And then when we connect, when us brothers connect with our sisters, we continue the circle of life forever. And I'll say it again. When we connect with our sisters, not with the Tamahus, when we connect with our sisters, when we connect with them, the circle of life continues forever. The Tichet also is a sacred object worshipped in the Delta, confounded with the sacrum. We'll get to the sacral nerves in a second. But the Tichet also represents the backbone. This is where the Tet comes from, the Tet Osset. The Tet Osset, that's where it comes from. When you go to Gematria, when you look up Cyrus's name on the Gematria SAR, you get some interesting numbers. You get numbers that have square roots of 3, and you get the number 33. 33. The number 33 is now used by Freemasons, but its origin lies below. The spine has 33 stacked vertebrae, small bones, that form the spinal canal. The spinal canal is a tunnel that houses the spinal cord and nerves, protecting them from injury. The number 33 is the symbol of the backbone of Osiris. So here's the sacrum. It also has a prime number of 3, the first black family, Osset, Osiris, and Heru. This is one of the major reasons the number 3 is so important to us, because it defines the first family in Kemet. NLP, programming one mind at a time. So there are many examples of what NLP is. However, for time purposes, I will just be focusing on one that deals with the overall topic at hand. That one you may have heard of too. It's called anchors. Anchors. Is it any wonder why we can never seem to get ahead or get justice in this society system matrix? 3 of the most valued people, places, and things Black people love the most, more than themselves. 3 of the most valued people, places, and things Black people love the most, more than themselves. Sports, entertainment, retail, and something to make them feel good, to relieve stress. Okay? And if you notice within all of these, the Bloomingdale sign, you see the Vesica Pisces just walking. You know how many millions, probably billions, walk in through their storefronts, and this is hanging right there, and nobody even notices it. Probably doesn't even notice the sign Bloomingdale's. Because our mind filters out. Our mind can only take in so much information during the day. It's like a certain number of petabytes, and it filters out the rest because we're just being bombarded with information all the time. So there's things right in front of you right now while you're looking at the screen listening to me. There's things happening around you can't see. Your brain, your consciousness can see. That's why this is so dangerous, and why we can be so easily hypnotized. But there's things happening around us, me included, because I'm paying attention. We can only pay attention to one thing at a time. We only think we can pay attention to multiple things at a time. But we can only focus, really zoom in on one thing at a time, while around us, many things are happening. And marketing relies on this. The Tamahu relies on this. This is one of their most greatest magical tools they use. So we see the credit cards. How many of us, me included, how many of us have one of these in our pocket? There's the Vesica Pisces, using our sexual energy against us. How many of you brothers are going to watch whatever sports are happening right now? I was in the grocery store the other day, and this brother asked me, "What's my favorite soccer team?" I told him I haven't watched sports in I don't. It's been so long I don't even know the years. And he just stared at me. So this has what? It has a Vesica Pisces in it, right there. Chanel, right? Coco Chanel. I remember sisters had the bags and all that stuff, and I think they make clothing and perfume, and they were rocking that, right? Tomahawks. See, cigarettes, the cool pack. See that? They even have it on something that's gonna kill you. They have the thing that the Comedians knew was life, that produced the first family for us. That was something that was beautiful existence, and they turn it into something evil that's going to kill you. And not only us, kill everybody, even themselves. Do you really want to follow that? Let me give you 3 examples of everyday anchors that you may not be aware of that literally attaches you to the evil called religion. Number 1, walking through the grocery store and we hear Christmas songs. Whether we hum along or not, your consciousness feels the vibration. So like I said, we can only focus on one thing at a time. There's so much information happening, your brain only focuses on what's important to it at the moment. So even though we are not quote unquote awake, conscious to everything around us, your brain and eventually your being is taking in everything that's around you. It's still coming in. But now it's coming in unfiltered. That's why even some of us right now, we might be against Christmas. All we have to do is walk through the grocery store and hear the fa la 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 that, and you won't even notice. You'll start humming it to yourself. That's the program. Number 2, that's the anchor. Excuse me. Number 2, the sports team we wanted to win loses for a brief second or many days. The sports team we wanted to win loses, and for a brief second or many days, why do we feel disappointed? I remember when I used to be in sports, and guys would literally cry when the Patriots would lose. They would get all emotional, upset, or like guys would start fighting. When you start, making fun of Tom Brady or whatever, they would literally start fist fighting in front of me. And I used to sit there and I used to be like, this guy doesn't even know you. Tom Brady doesn't even know you. Why do you care about these people so much? Because it's another anchor. Because men used to go out and take over territories, take over lands, used to compete with one another to gain ground for their females, for their families, and ultimately for their nation. And when you live in this society that we live in now, the matrix, where everything's given to you in abundance, that nature, that male warrior lion, got to go out and survive and provide for my family, is now given to you easily, but it doesn't go away. So this is why sports was controlled, and the guy that literally was doing the NLP is the nephew of Sigmund Freud, and his name was Albert Bernays. And a great documentary, if you're interested, if you haven't seen it yet, is called A Century of Self, and it explains thoroughly in detail what I just said right now. And number 3, we are in an unpleasant mood. We are in an unpleasant mood, then we speak to a friend or read something we like, and all of a sudden we feel better. We feel better. Okay? So all these things are controlling us without us even knowing that it's happening or why it's happening. And what Tahuti does in his pod classes with the brothers and me here on the panel do is to break you out of this pattern, this lack of control, and help you take control of your mind again. So that you only feel, and there's nothing wrong with feelings, there's nothing wrong with your emotions. They're beautiful because they help us survive in the physical world during danger and death and life and peace. But you got to know when to feel and what to feel. So the etymology of religion means to reread, to hear, sound, vibrate, words. And on the screen here, just really quick, this is the Vesica Pisces in Judaism. As you see, the equilateral triangle or the great Akuz. See the as above, as below is the Vesica Pisces. You see the Christian version. You see the sun. You see the woman in the center, in the womb, in the vagina. And I don't know if you can see it real clear, but going along the rim or the sides of the Vesica Pisces, there's actually 9 faces here. So they're using the number 9 again right here in plain sight. And then down here, this is from the 15th century, from the Ottoman Empire. It's from an Islamic scroll. They call it a quote-unquote Great Islamic Scroll. And again, you have the Vesica Pisces right here. So all major religions that are popular are using this powerful, powerful symbol and energy. So remember, whatever we do repeatedly becomes our religion. First, we gather the info, read, hear it, make the decision, think, then take action. This is why habits become so hard to break, because we think about them repeatedly. It becomes religiously effective. So whatever we think about over and over becomes anchored to our consciousness, even if it kills us. Luckily, this can be reversed by learning and applying NLP. And as so smoke cool is an anchor. That's an anchor, because I remember growing up, the brothers would say, "Oh man, you want to smoke some cools?" And brothers would be smoking them, standing there all cool, because we wanted to be cool, or what we thought was cool. Cool isn't even the right term to be using for what we were doing, but that's what we thought. We thought people that smoked were cool. They used it for marketing as an anchor, because marketing uses anchors, uses NLP all the time. And smoke cool. So smoke cool, I'm going to buy a pack of cool. So using the Vesica Pisces, the female shet, another word for the Vesica Pisces is the shet or vagina, as a weapon to kill and destroy. That to me is evil. It might not be evil to you, but to me, that is the definition of evil. When you take something that's inherently beneficial and good to you, and you reverse it and flip it over, and now it's meant to kill and destroy me. To me, that is the definition of evil. And Het Haru. Het Haru. We're almost done. I have to leave something for you to question on the next slide. So this is from the 18th dynasty, the pectoral of Tutankhamun, great Tutankhamun. And you see here in the center, you see Nebhet and Aset. You could tell because the metanetter behind here shows the throne and the Het, the house, over here on the left. In the middle is the Techet, is Osiris, and they are supporting and protecting him with the wings of Mut, or the vulture. And Tutankhamun would wear this around his neck. Beautiful. So what is the Techet? The Techet represents the goddesses, because we have to remember, unlike Western train of thought where everything's separated and labeled, in Kemet, everything is intermeshed and connected. So for one goddess goes for the next. So these goddesses are the Techet, Aset, Nebhet, and Aset. And Techet also means Hathor or Het Haru. So Het Haru is a Techet. And you see she's represented by the dual Techets here. The egg is fertility, and the loaf of bread as the female energy. To further bring proof, we have the Setepet on the lower left-hand corner. Setepet, or the Sept. Remember I mentioned the Sept earlier? The Sept is a form of Het Haru also, the Sept. The Sept is a form of Het Haru. You can see the Wadjet right here. The Septi means the two lips, similar to the vagina, the two lips. And then it has the Ku here, it has the Kembird, it has the bird that emits light. Okay, the Septi. And then the Septu is what? It's an Ocelese or we're going to get to it in a second. I'll tell you the triangle that you've probably heard of before, but the sept is a triangle. That's why whenever you see the triangles, they also represent our females, their light energy. So the origin of black families is the original Trinity, and it never included Jesus. It included Heteru or Oset, Osiris, and Haru. And they supported the Techet. They supported Osar. In the bonus. So you probably heard of the golden triangle before. That's what you saw with the Sept2. A golden triangle, also called a sublime triangle, is an isosceles triangle in which the duplicated sides is in the golden ratio to the base side. So again, the numbers add up to 9 in the golden triangle. Also, this triangle is the same as the molecule. Is the same as water molecule. Is the same as the water molecule ratio. So the water molecule ratio also adds up to a triangle. But I'll leave, if you want to ask that question to Saba, you can. And then finally, we have the female's urogenital triangle. The female's urogenital triangle contains the vagina. In another class, I could break down the significance of this pertaining to the Vesica Pisces. Once again, the as above, so below principle includes a woman's vagina, the inverted pyramid, that not only represents light, support, strength, and a gateway to earth, but also a specific name of a goddess from Kemet. This is actually from a class I already did with someone, so that was Het Haru. Okay, and this is it here. This is urogenital triangle, which houses the vagina, urethra, and I can't really pronounce this name, the clitoris, the ishamos vapramos, and the bulba shabagijajash. I have no idea what those words say, but I do know what the clitoris, urethra, and vagina is, and it's within the triangle, the golden triangle. I'm sure you will have many questions for Saba Tahuti, but before I go, what is this? What is this thing? What is this thing? What is this thing right here? So this is a Christian image. Yes. This is a Christian image on your screen. And it's in a position of modern day magazines and videos and computer websites. But this is a Christian image because you can see the arch. You can see that it's between the building underneath the support. It looks pretty old, but what is this? It's a female. It's not like any female I've ever seen, and it's Christian, and it's what the Tamahus worship. So I will just leave that there. If you want to look up and find that, you can. If you want to ask Tahuti, you can too. But this is what the Christians worship, while we worship our goddesses. So donations are appreciated. Please check out our Teachings of Ma'at channel. If you're new, if you're watching this off the live broadcast, broadcast live 5 p.m. Pacific time every week, every Sunday. Also become a member, and you can do that by leaving email. You can sign up for the newsletter. Make sure you go out this coming Friday, support our brother, our leader, our Saba Tahuti, Amenhotep Ra, on his YouTube podcast every Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you can ask one of the brothers. Maybe the brothers will post a link in the chat. If not, Just send us an email and we can help you get there. So join us every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 7 p.m. Central Time, and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We are thorough. And that concludes this presentation.
Peace and love. Hotep my aunt. Brother,
Peace and love.
that was phenomenal, brother. Never, 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 never cease to amaze and impress and then motivate. That was, you see why I love you brothers? Because you brothers continue to motivate me to get better and to teach. And that was something that I have to go back and I'm gonna have to go back and examine that. My aunt, if you brothers and sisters in the chat, subscribe. Would you like to put the link in the chat? We got a lot of people in the chat. Seems like we got like 20 people in the chat. You want to post the link? But I just want to say, Hati, that was a beautiful presentation as always. I knew it was going to be fantastic. Scribes breakdown was fantastic last week, and again, of course, that's a beautiful background, Scribe. You know I love your background. You're the architect. But I just want to let everybody know that I just want to point out something, that this is the 13th episode, and if you all are familiar with the numbers, and this is also the day that we're finishing up Saba Tahuti's book. And if you want to put the link in the chat, I just want to hear what everyone has to say about Saba's book. Those of you that have it, see what you thought of our breakdowns up to this point. So far, we're going to continue to expand and move forward, and you know, get better, and hopefully break down more of Saba's books. Definitely, we're going to be breaking down Melanin and Dark Consciousness at the after the new year. Like to give a shout out to Not Beefy Productions in the chat. Big Vapes. Like to give a shout out to you, brother. Like to give a shout out to Squano, E Manifesto, all the consistent brothers and sisters that join us every week. Jody Southworth, she says, good job, great job. Shout out to you, Jody. She's consistent. Shout out to Shannon Southart. Well done, Ahati, she says. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Yeah, brother. You brothers continue. Tahuti says, great work, Ahati. Shout out to our great Saba. And also, this being the 13th episode, also, I think it's the 17th or the 19th is the anniversary for Saba's class. So I would like to, you know, point that out to everybody, the great work that Saba does in creating this book and this knowledge. And man, this is on another level, brothers. I just want to say that we could go back and do this same book again, go back and do this same book again and present totally different. This is how much wisdom and information that Saba put in there. That's why the book is called Stepping Out of the Matrix, right? It wasn't a coincidence. It was deliberate. And our Saba put that in there. Squano says, nice. Appreciate. Shout out to you, Squano. Shout out to everybody in the chat, all the consistent brothers and sisters that join us every week. Teachings of Ma'at, join us on the panel. Scribe, I'm going to let you say something if you need to shout out to the good brother. But yeah, everybody join us and continue to support Teachings of Ma'at, Stepping Out of the Matrix book study. Peace and love, everybody. Scribe, I'm going to let you go.
Peace and love, everybody. Hati, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you for that. You took us to so many different realms. You know, gave us a trigonometry class, geometry class, history class. You know, that was beautiful, my brother. Thank you for that, and you know, showing forth and proving why you are the leader of the Teachings of Ma'at organization. So, you know, thank you for that. Let's bring this brother up, Big Vape. Just joined the panel. Tua, Hotep Ma'at, my good brother. Can you hear me?
Peace and love, Big Vapes. Can you hear us? You muted, brother. We can hear you now.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
peace and
sir.
love, brother.
All right, there we go. There we go. All right. Hotep, namaste to all. How y'all doing?
Peace and love, brother. Wonderful. How are you? What'd you think of
Good.
the presentation?
That was a fire presentation. That was my favorite Ahati presentation actually tonight because it was a good combination of mathematics and etymology and the etymology of the mathematics. So that was fire. I enjoyed that.
Yes, that good brother Ahati is a master teacher as well.
To it,
That's
brother.
why we have the best teacher. I just want to point that out. You guys been following our our progression. It has been getting better and better. And I just want to say that I'm a baby in this, but I have an example to aspire to with my good brother Hati, of course, the Saba, and my great young brother Scribe, who is the architect. That brother is phenomenal. And I just want to point that out that we have the best teacher without a doubt. That is a fact. And we're going to continue to motivate and shout out to you, Big Vapes, for coming up and showing your face. This is like the second time. Don't be scared, everybody. Come up and join us and tell us what you think about the book and the presentation. You know,
Big
let us
Vape
know.
says Big Vape says pull over, pull over, pull over, pull over, glasses on. Yeah, you over.
Shout out to
Yeah.
you, Big Vapes.
I'm just kidding.
Appreciate it. But I do want to shout out the merch. I did get my merch this week. So if I can shout that out. For folks that have not gotten the merch. So I got the merch this week. I'm very excited about that.
Wow.
Black and gold, like my old boxing team colors, which I appreciate. You know, the website's right on there. So like I said before, walking billboard. I'm planning to definitely, go to some outings and wear this. I'm gonna, show the back of the shirt, but I just want to mention these cards did come with the shirt. So as you're out with the merch, it tells them what to do. It says sign up for the newsletter, subscribe to the channel. They don't even have to think, right? In the back of it, there's some more information as far as the podcast and the study guide or whatever. So definitely, I have two of these. One's in my wallet, one's at home in case I lose one in my wallet or whatever, right? And the great reveal. So I did a custom shirt. So folks, you can customize these shirts. If you get a discount, you get some money off of that, because you pay extra for the customizing. But it's definitely worth it. So I'm gonna do the reveal right now. So when I went on the live before, Pata is my favorite netter. So Pata is the beginning of my customized name. I added to make it creative. Pata the bull. He's associated with the bull. I'm into Buddhism, so it's like Buddha, like play on words with Buddha, and then I added Damo at the end because Damo taught, I guess, Kung Fu to the Chinese. So this is kind of like my comedic name with a twist, which is Pata Bull Damo. So you can customize these shirts. These shirts are fire. This is an extra large. This is the long sleeve. So I don't want to take too much time, but I just wanted to shout out the merch. Shout out to the whole platform. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
Beautiful.
That was
Scribe.
great, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoy it and you like it. Thank you for presenting that, and yeah, it's definitely beautiful. So those of you who would like to follow in the footsteps of this great brother, I also want to give a shout out to Vinny Black Lodge as well. He purchased a hoodie. So you all are starting to take advantage of this once in a lifetime merch to represent Saba Tahuti, represent the Netra Tahuti, represent the number 72, be a walking frequency of that 9, so yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you, my brother, for supporting the way that you do. And we look forward to having you join us up here on the organization as well.
No doubt. That's coming soon, as well as I am interested in the Metal Netter Mondays. I got to figure out when I want to start that, but that's on my list of things to do as well. But I am putting in efforts towards the movement. So namaste and tua to all y'all, and I'll definitely be back on the panel soon.
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you, Big Vapes. Yeah, peace and love. I just want to I just want to say I agree with you, brother. You definitely need to get on that Metal Netta Mondays. It is amazing. And I'm traveling, so I'm not gonna be there, but I still support. And then I just Saba sends me a link. So like this week I'm out of town and I won't be able to join the class live, but I'm still gonna support and then he'll send me the link. So those of you that can't participate in person, just reach out to him and see what he can do because it's definitely not worth missing. As well as nothing that Saba teaches on or presents is worth missing. This is why I'm here consistently broadcasting live from New York. I'm traveling with my family, but I'm still on because I love y'all and I know how important this information is. And I know how important Saba's book is and what it meant to me to step out of the matrix. You know, when I purchased it, I really didn't have no idea of just what it was going to do for me as far as the information. I knew the information was going to be great because I had heard Saba speak on a couple of platforms, but I just didn't know just how impactful it was going to be for me, to the point where I'm up here with you, brother, and sharing this space with you and you, my good brother Hati, and you, my young brother Scribe. I didn't know that it would lead to this. So I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful to finally close out this study that I never would have thought, imagined to be a part of and to participate in because Ahati, that presentation was absolutely groundbreaking. And the thing about it is Saba taught on that earlier, like the other day. So it's just like if you guys are paying attention to what's going on, right? The information is being verified and touched on and looked at from different perspectives and broke down with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but my art. And I just want to just point that out to everyone that's paying attention. I just want to point that out, how beautiful it is, and where we're at, how far we've come in the year that Saba started the class. We're coming up on the anniversary. So we're in a beautiful time right now, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, there is no one on the internet right now answering questions live like Saba Tahuti. There's no one on the planet that has a book titled Stepping Out of the Matrix that actually allows you, if you digest it properly, to begin to step out of the matrix. Or whatever book Saba spoke about, he has the matrix. Whatever book he's teaching from, that's the book we need. But the thing is that the truth that's out there already, right? The way Saba breaks it down for us, because all of this information is already out there for us, right? But we know what they said about that. We know what they say about us, right? You want to hide something from us, put it where in a book, right? We've all heard that. But the way Saba breaks it down for us and the way he teaches, and he teaches us to be teachers, right? So Big Vapes, just acknowledge that great presentation that Ahati presented, right? Saba is his teacher. He's our teacher. He's your teacher too, Big Vapes, right? You're in the class on Fridays right along with us. The difference is that Ahati was there first. And the thing is that if it wasn't for Ahati, we wouldn't be privy to this knowledge. Because Saba has said it. He said it. And if he said it, then it's the truth, like everything that comes out of his mouth, right? So we need to be appreciative of that, and we need to be supporting him, and he needs to be supported more. I want to just take this time out to say now we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the pod class, right? And shout out to everybody that supports. Big Vape, you're a supporter. You're a constant supporter. Shannon, it's too many of y'all to name. Those of you that support, we appreciate that support. But we need to take a look at us as a people, where and the things that we value, right? Like what are we really valuing? If we're not valued, like if this knowledge and this truth that he's presenting, if it's not valuable to us as a people, You understand? Like, what are we putting our value on? We value everything that's destroying us and it's not benefiting us, which is the lie. And Saba presents nothing but the truth and the facts. And this is the result. The ahatis and the presentations that you're getting, that is collegiate level. And to say it's collegiate level using their language is an understatement. And I'm just gonna say that out loud because I'm I'm grateful, because the thing about it is with me is I love learning. I love asking questions and I love learning, and I love surrounding myself with people that can teach me something. And this good brother Scribe, he's younger than me, but this brother, I learn something from him every time he opens his mouth. Every time he has something to say, it's beneficial, it's positive, right? It's supportive, it's motivating. You understand? When the brother Ahati presents and he has something to say, I know where it's coming from, and it's all out of love because it's the truth. Because we have the same teacher, and our teacher stands on Ma'at, and he is an example of what we need to be doing. That is an example of how we need to be teaching. And that presentation that Scribe did last week, that is an example. And where I'm headed, the direction that I'm heading, because for sure I'm not there yet. I'm a baby, but at the same time, I know where my example is. I have it the same way the ancestors left the example for us, right? The same way. But I'm smart enough to know when I don't know, right? And I'm smart enough to say I don't know. So, I'm going to learn from you, brothers. And I appreciate learning. We can learn teamwork from a beehive, right? We have so many excuses. I could tell you what I can't do. Like right now, I can't make my background look like Scribes. But Big Brother Vapes, you continue to watch because Scribe is going to teach me, because I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to learn to be better. No, but it's funny, but it's serious, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
Our
it's
ego,
true. That's what I'm laughing.
our ego gets in the way of our learning and of our being better. Like Saba said, I can't fix no car. I'm not a mechanic. The mechanic is the master at fixing the car in that instance. You know what I mean? So if I want to learn how to fix a car, I need to listen to the mechanic. But our ego gets in the way. He's younger than me. He older than me. He's whatever, I mean, we come up with all kind of excuses. Anything that's the matrix. Anything to get in our own way, right? But we need to be learning and advancing, and we need to be looking at these brothers as our examples, right? Acknowledge, observe, support, right? Ahati, that was a phenomenal breakdown, brother. That was a masterclass. And I'm going to continue to digest. It's going to take me, listen, I'm a slow learner, so it's going to take me a couple of watches to digest it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate not understanding that. I appreciate, because I'm going to be honest with you, I don't understand most of the stuff that you spoke on, other than the way Saba breaks it down and the way you're breaking it down and the way you're teaching us, right? Right. I'm not that great in calculus and trigonometry and all of that, but that's what motivates me to learn and be better, because we're doing this for our children. And if the goal ain't to be better, then what is the goal? If the goal ain't to evolve and stand on Ma'at and be the best version of ourselves, then what is it? Then what are we doing? We're wasting our time. So I appreciate you, Brother Ahati. I appreciate you, Brother Scribe, Big Vapes, all the constant supporters. And I'm going to continue to say it. We have the best teacher. And like our teachers say, if you have better information, put it in the chat. We'll check it out. All of us will, because we're all constantly learning. Always. So, Scribe, you got anything you want to say? A Big Vapes, you got anything you want to add, good brother? I appreciate you.
So, really quick before I leave the live, I know there was a brother last class that maybe was thinking about joining the live or what have you. I'll say this, you can first of all, we're here supporting Saba Tahuti's live and this live for a reason. Two, you can appreciate the information in different ways. You can appreciate it in a spiritual way. If you have your own spiritual system, that's fine. You can appreciate it in a linguistic way, Meta Mondays. As far as literature, so the class, kind of like breaking down the books. You can appreciate it culturally, like what do the Cometians eat, their fighting system as far as weapons, hand-to-hand combat. Like Sabat Tahuti's breakdown on like battle that he did.
Go pass.
I had to check my door for a second. What's going on here?
Go pass.
Already?
But that breakdown was fire as far as that whole battle that happened. So
Yes.
you don't have to. I think some people have that fear of like, oh, they're joining some kind of religion or cult because we were programmed to think that, right?
Yes.
But that's not the case. So you can appreciate Kemet in different aspects. So I just wanted to say that before I sign out. So Tua Namaste to everyone, and till the next time.
Hey, Big Vapes, before you go,
Yep.
real quick, before you go,
Mhm.
you mentioned that you're into Buddhism too, right?
Correct.
Right, and you're up on the panel with us, right?
Correct.
And you feel welcome while you're up on the panel with us? You feel cool?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. This is a
Kemet,
safe space.
Kemet, like I say all the time, was a nation first. We don't care what you believe in. If you're here with us, you're here for the truth. It's up to you once you find the truth if you want to stay in it. It's up to you, but we don't care what religion you're in or belief you have, as long as you're respectful.
I appreciate that.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So shout out to you, Big Vapes. We appreciate your support constantly. And you're always welcome to come up on the panel with us, brother. We appreciate you. Tua to you for your support.
Tua, namaste. Peace.
Yeah, I hear that in the
appreciate you.
chat. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna give my appreciation to Big Vapes for stepping up to the plate and coming on the panel. We want more of you to join us. Come up on the panel. And just give your thoughts on the excellent presentations that go on. Show your support, brother Hati. I'm excited to go back in throughout the week and re-listen to it multiple times, as I do. And that was beautiful. It was beautiful. I loved how you did it. Very extensive, very, very extensive. A lot of information, very concise though. It's like that small just energy ball that can just take you out. It's like the seed of the universe is tiny, but it holds everything within it. So that's what you did, and it was beautiful. So I just
Hungry Lion.
Yeah.
Tua, brother, Tua.
He ate this episode.
You know what? I know when I know, because it's not Scribe. We see your presentations. We know it's not easy to do what we do.
No.
That's why we ask you for if you appreciate our work. That's why we ask for donations, because it's not easy to do this. We could be doing other things, and we have to do other things in our life. But Scribe probably knows that during the period of your research, you hit what seems to be an invisible wall, and the frustration starts building. And that's when I start liking it, because it's like, okay, brain, challenge on. So I'll get up for 5 minutes, maybe go over here, use the bathroom, come back. Oh, it's still shaking. Okay, frustrating. And then you'll be searching for something else that you weren't searching. The thing you weren't looking for, you moved on to search for something else, and the thing you were looking for previously is answered in the thing you went on to move on. It's like this game you played yourself, and I love it because it reminds me of a detective, what a detective does on his job. And that's what we are here on the panel. And those of you that research out there, Saba and me talked about this before, that we are detectives because they've taken our history and buried it in so much lies that it's going to frustrate you. It's going to take many hours, many days, many years to get to the point where you can sit back and you can give presentations if you want to, or speak to brothers in a certain matter that you're in control. And that's one of the greatest things I got from Saba was I wanted to learn to be in control myself when I'm around people that can't control themselves and not be in fear. So I appreciate you, brothers. I'm glad you liked it. I know the Scribe. I want to say about you too is that you are the example. If anybody's example, it's not me, it's Scribe.
Both of you, bro.
Scribe has less than a year in, I believe, or correct me if I'm wrong, Scribe. But and the scribes putting together presentations like Saba.
Websites and all. The websites, the merch,
Yeah, so
all that's scribed.
his creative energy connected with Saba's energy, we can't ever be. We are Makaru. We are victory. His
True.
energy, and he's young,
Yes.
and he's determined. I've never seen another man more determined than him.
And he's sharp.
And
He's
I want
sharp.
to give you that. I want to give you. I want to give you that. I want to
He
give you
is.
that respect.
That's a fact, bro. Listen,
I
what you're
want to give
saying
you.
is
I want to
true.
Appreciate
give
you,
you that
brother.
respect, brother, because for us, we don't operate without encouragement. The Tamahu cuts each other down, and somehow that makes them stronger. They even use a line: "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." I don't want to take
That's
that
a fact.
chance.
That's a
For
fact.
us, it's the opposite. We if you notice, when we cut each other down, we don't go anywhere. When we encourage
Right.
each other, we build things together. And that's why constantly, week after week, we are reaching out to the public saying, "Hey, you see what we have to offer? You see what our leader has to offer? Come and join us." I understand you have jobs. I understand there's things that we say that if it gets found out, I understand that. I totally get that. But if you're truly seeking the truth like we are, you will get to a point where all that doesn't matter. You're tired. You're tired of being frustrated. You're tired of being lonely, alone, and you want to stop living in fear. And the only way to do that is to find the truth and to live in it. And that's the whole meaning of Ma'at, is to find her and to live in her. That's exactly what Saba's affirmation means.
Monkey in my
And
eye.
so again, I welcome everybody. I'm not doing this for clout and fun. I'm doing this for the young one, the one that may hear this even when I'm gone physically. I'm speaking directly to you, to her, him. And if you see this decades, uh, I don't know how long this technology will be here. Centuries from now, you never know. Speaking to you, there was a time where we lived in constant fear, in constant heartache, in constant terror, in constant turmoil, and we had no solution. And then we found one, and his name is Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. And as black men, we've been taught that we are never to follow another man, but we realize that by doing that, we can never advance because our ancestors always followed one, and he was the Pharaoh. And how I met Tahuti was he told me to call him Pharaoh, and I did. No qualm. No, I didn't even bat an eye, because we can feel the presence of each other when we're speaking truth or we're fake. The audience out there knows that when you go to these other channels, even though they're exciting and fun, the contention is fun. Believe me, I like contention too. Oh yeah, ooh, wow, ooh, ooh. All work out. Oh, I want to work out now. Let's go, let's go. I want to pump up. Someone gonna challenge me. Oh, let's go. And it can be contention mentally. I love contention
Yeah.
mentally too, and I know some of the brothers do too, because it's like, I don't want to get off topic. The
Stimulating.
point that I'm making is that but they're fake. If we put them up here on the hot seat and we ask them a question, they're going to lie to you. They're not going to tell you, "I don't know." And one of the first things that gained my respect to another black man was that he told me, "That's a great question. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you." And that man was Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. So if I could leave you with anything, I leave you with that. We don't have to prove anything anymore. We don't have to prove anything anymore. And great people don't have to prove anything. We don't have to prove anything to our enemy, the Tamahus. We don't have to prove anything to them anymore. All we have to show ourselves is that we love ourselves again. That's all we have to do. And to love ourselves, we have to desire her. We have to desire Ma'at. And I understand you may be in some other frame of mind or belief system, and I'm okay with that, because I know you can't convert anyone. They convert themselves when they're ready. And I know that it takes truth. because at the end of the day, and even the end of time, your physical body is made up of a biology that's connected to light, that's connected to Ra. So you can't lie to Ra. You can't fake Ra. So even though you may do it to me, within yourself, you'll know that it's not true. And then you can't stand in front of me or Sab or his brothers on the panel. So I just want to encourage everybody out there to keep going through the steps that you're going through right now. I had to take steps. It took me many years. Believe me, it took me multiple years before this got started, right? And it was just me and Saba would do corrections, and we do the private teachings. But hopefully you grow to love us as Arcad loves Saba. And that's all I have.
Yeah, and definitely hand clap. And with that, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you, brother. We definitely don't celebrate. We definitely don't celebrate our own. And the link is in the chat for those of you if we anybody want to join us before we close it out. But I want to just what echo and touch on what you said real quick, brother, about we don't celebrate each other. So I want to take the time out right now to celebrate again the 13th episode of this study guide, and shout out to the good brother Tahuti Most. This is the 13th episode, and we're closing out the book Stepping Out of the Matrix, which is a phenomenal book. And we've had 13 weeks of phenomenal breakdowns, and they've only gotten better and better, and they're only going to continue to get better. And this movement, Teachings of Ma'at, is only going to expand, and we're going to get better. And like I said, we're going to be presenting on some of the ancestors' writings. And then at the new year, we're going to begin on Saba's second book, Melanin and Dark Consciousness. You can purchase that book at teachingsofmaat.org. The website is posted behind Scribe with that beautiful background. But in touching on what Ahati said as far as celebrating our brothers, I definitely want to again celebrate our teacher, our Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, the great. And also I want to celebrate our good leader, Ahati Ma'at. I want to celebrate you, brother, and tell you how much we love you and appreciate you for motivating Saba. And this is why we have a great teacher, is because of you. A shout out to my young brother, Scribe, the architect. And everybody in the chat, I just want to say that that good brother Big Vapes came up and gave us a commercial. That good brother Big Vapes came up and gave us a commercial for the merch, and that wasn't planned. So I just want to shout that out and just acknowledge him and appreciate that support. But I just want to celebrate our architect. I want to celebrate that young brother Scribe and all the work that he does for our website, teachingsofmaat.org. All the work that he does for Saba behind the scenes, being a moderator as well as a Hati too. And, I just want to celebrate you, brother. I definitely want to acknowledge and point out to everybody on the chat that this young brother is an example when it comes to creativity and when it comes to being a scribe, like his name says. And if you are paying attention to the teachings that Ahati did today, then you will notice you will notice the power in that brother's name. I'm not going to go any further because I need y'all to pay attention to the teachings and learn like we're learning. But in that good brother's name is power. It means power. There's power. There's added power in that. And if you want to know, you can go back to some of the teachings. But I want to acknowledge that brother who is the architect of our website, who is also the creator of our merch. That good brother Scribe put up some of the merch if you want to show it before we close it out. I just want to acknowledge that brother, and I want to send love and light to Tahuti Most, wherever you at, and also to everyone in the chat, everyone who supports us with this podcast, with this book study, and with Saba's podcast, all the supporters, no matter how you support with positive energy, we have to get to the point where we appreciate knowledge like we appreciate foolishness. We have to get to the point where we appreciate knowledge more than we appreciate Isfet, and where we're willing to pay and sacrifice. And when we say pay, we're not talking about money. because it's an energy. It's an energy exchange, as Scribe touched on before, and as we continue to touch on. It is an energy exchange. It is reciprocity. It is standing on my art, and it is giving off good energy and getting good energy in return. And I just want to say that we have to continue to support Saba. And coming up into the new year, we need to support him even more so that he can continue to give us these phenomenal master classes and breakdowns the way he does, and understand how valuable his time is and appreciate how valuable his time is. And I'm traveling with my family, but the fact that I appreciate Saba's work and the time that he put in is the reason why I'm here broadcasting. And my audio might not be the best. I have my laptop, but I'm here because I understand how important Saba's book is. And I hope all of you out there understand how important it is. Those of you that are just listening, teachingsofmaaunt.org, go to the website, purchase the book, Stepping Out of the Matrix, Volume 1, Melanin and Dark Consciousness. Purchase those books and join us and step out of the matrix. And without further ado, I'm going to let the good brother Scribe close it out. If you got any last final words and want to close out, peace and love, Hotep to everybody.
Yes, sir. Peace and love. Thank you both brothers for your kind words. I take it straight to the Eve, and you brothers know how I feel about you. It's all supreme, absolute love and gratitude for both of you, and Ahati, for being the leader, for me to be able to echo what you do as well. So Tua, definitely. So we did get some support in, so I do want to show the support from the good brother Begad Leisure. He sent $25. He said, "Friend, Dua, Ahati Ma'at, great conclusion, showing revolution, revolving back to source 9."
Tua, brother, appreciate that.
I think that brother's a poet too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he put words
shout
together.
Yeah, shout out to you, Begad Leisure.
Begad, you need to come on sometime when you feel comfortable, brother. You're always
Definitely,
welcome.
brother. Definitely.
And then we have one more to show for the great sister Shannon Southard, $5 for gratitude.
Nice.
Shout out to you.
Peace and love.
Shout out to
Shannon.
you, sister. Peace and love.
Tua.
To our sister Shannon. Peace and love.
I just want to close out with letting you guys know that, as Arcade broke down, that this is the last episode of the Stepping Out of the Matrix. We'll be getting into some of the literature of the ancestors and then going into Saba Tahuti's Melanin Dark Consciousness. So I need a favor from everyone here in the chat. This Friday, when we go into Saba's class, I need everyone to ask Saba when his next book is being released, so we can start putting that energy out there to him. We need the third book. We need it. We want it. So I need everyone here to make sure that Saba knows that we want another addition to the books that we can accumulate and add to our libraries. So.
And I want to add on, and if he needs help creating that, we're here for him.
Of course.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I know Big Vapes or somebody said they're a writer too, so I'm sure he'll need help.
Yes, he has support, and we are ready. We want it. So
definitely.
Let's push that
Let's
out.
Do
there.
it.
Hungry for that
Let's
knowledge.
Go.
Definitely. Shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Ahati, you got any closing words, brother?
I'm great, brother. Everything was said. Well done.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to AJ Super Mogul. Shout out to Squano, Meshack, Big Vape, Shannon. Shout out to Saba. Shouts everybody out. Shout out to Cash Peden. Shout out to you, brother. Constant supporter. Shout out to Zep Teppy Slim. Shout out to Jody Southo. Shout out to Saba. Shout out to Not Beefy Productions. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Peace and love to E Manifesto. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If I forgot you, peace and love. We appreciate your support. As always, Teachings of Ma'at. Join us. Go to the website, teachingsofma'at.org. Join us every Friday for Tahuti's podcast. Join us for Monday Metal Netter class. Even if you can't join us for Monday Metal Netter, reach out to Saba and support. We are going into the second year of our Saba's teachings, so we need his teachings. we need to support him now more than ever. We need to continue to motivate him, and we need to continue to inspire him to teach and continue to teach. So we need to support him monetarily, because this is what he does for a living. And if you appreciate the wisdom and the knowledge and the breakdowns like I do, then you will support, because I support by all means necessary, not just financially. I don't have a lot of money, but I do my part. I do what I can, and you should too. But if you appreciate the truth, if you don't appreciate the truth, then maybe you shouldn't. However, peace and love to everybody who appreciates the truth. Peace and love to the chat. I just have to point that out. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth is valuable, and we're not putting value on the truth, and that's part of the problem, Ahati, is that we don't value the truth. The lie is more valuable. It's beautiful. It's an ugly lie, but we look at the lie as beautiful, and the truth is the lie. We're all mixed up, but we have to put the value where the value is, and the value is on the truth. And we have to start valuing that, the truth, and what benefits us and motivates us. So with that, Hotep Ma'at, peace and love to the chat. Peace and love to everybody. Scribe, put up the affirmation. We're going to close out tonight. We had a beautiful class, the 13th episode. On the count of 3, we're going to end it with our affirmation. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Unki Ema'at, Un-N-S, Nintet Set Ema'at, Min Hepapet Ema'at, Her Inkukui, Per Iku. I live for Ma'at, I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Peace and love. Hotep Ma'at, everybody.
Hotep Ma'at. Peace.
Till the next time.
Hotep Ma'at. Peace and love. Follow us on all social platforms. Hotep Ma'at.
Subscribe.